ผมว่าจริงนะครับพอเราอยู่มานานเรารู้สึกว่าชินพอเราชินแล้วเราก็รู้สึกว่ามันมีความสุข
ก็พอโอเคนะมันก็พออยู่ได้อะ
พี่ว่าดีครับได้ฝึกทักษะได้ออกกำลัง
อย่าคิดให้เป็นปัญหาคิดให้มันเป็นแรงบันดาลใจมันดีกว่าครับ
ทนไหวไม่ใช่ทางออก
ประสบการณ์การเดินทางเท้าที่แย่เป็นสิ่งที่เราชาวกรุงเทพต้องเจอทุกวันและกำลังเป็นประเด็นปัญหาที่ถูกกล่าวถึงมากขึ้นอิฐเสื่อมสภาพสายไฟรกรุงรังแสงสว่างที่ไม่เพียงพอในยามค่ำคืนทางม้าลายที่ไม่ปลอดภัยและรถมอเตอร์ไซค์ที่ขึ้นมาวิ่งบนฟุตบาทเป็นประจำจากการสำรวจคนกรุงเทพมีความเครียดเรื่องสิ่งแวดล้อมในเมืองถึง 37.84% และปัจจัยที่ทำให้กรุงเทพไม่น่าอยู่ก็คือเรื่องของสภาพแวดล้อมถึง 61.31% แต่วันนี้ปัญหาเหล่านี้กำลังจะถูกแก้ไขเพราะตอนนี้ทุกฝ่ายทั้งนักวิจัยนักออกแบบและหน่วยงานภาครัฐกำลังหันมาร่วมมือกันเพื่อเก็บข้อมูลปัญหาต่างๆเกี่ยวกับทางเท้าช่วยกันแชร์ไอเดียออกแบบทางเดินที่ทุกคนอยากได้เพิ่มความปลอดภัยในการข้ามถนนมีกิจกรรมส่งเสริมการเดินจัดการระบบนำทางให้สะดวกมากขึ้นเพิ่มสภาพแวดล้อมที่ปลอดภัยในการเดินจัดการพื้นที่และภูมิทัศน์บนทางเท้าให้น่าเดินสำหรับทุกคนใช่ครับมันกำลังจะเกิดขึ้นจริงโดยเริ่มต้นจากย่านเจริญกรุงเป็นที่แรก Streetscape Bangkok คุณสามารถร่วมกันแชร์ความคิดเห็นว่าทางเท้าแบบไหนที่คุณอยากได้ผ่านเกม Street Fighter ทางเว็บไซต์ด้านล่างแคปชั่นนี้เลยครับ
Bangkok Design Week จากความสำเร็จของ Bangkok Design Week 2018 ระยะเวลาตลอด 9 วันที่มีผู้เข้าชมงานทั้งชาวไทยและชาวต่างชาติมากกว่า 400,000 คนได้มาร่วมค้นพบประสบการณ์แห่งการสร้างสรรค์จากกิจกรรมกว่า 500 รายการที่เกิดขึ้นในพื้นที่ต่างๆทั่วกรุงเทพกว่า 60 สถานที่กรุงเทพมหานครเมืองหลวงที่เต็มเปี่ยมไปด้วยแรงดึงดูดที่ชวนให้ผู้คนทั่วโลกเดินทางมาสัมผัสประสบการณ์ที่หลากหลายมากด้วยมิติแห่งความคิดสร้างสรรค์และเรื่องราวชวนจดจำ Bangkok Design Week 2019 ปรากฏการณ์ที่กำลังจะเกิดขึ้นในมหานครแห่งนี้ Fusing Forward ประสานสร้างสู่อนาคตการประสานศาสตร์ต่างสาขาที่ขับเคลื่อนด้วยความคิดสร้างสรรค์ตั้งแต่ความดั้งเดิมมากคุณค่าอย่างงานหัตถกรรมจนถึงความล้ำสมัยของดิจิทัลและเทคโนโลยีเพื่อตอบสนองทั้งธุรกิจและคุณภาพชีวิตของผู้คนยุคปัจจุบันมาพร้อมกับการรวมพลังของนักสร้างสรรค์และผู้ประกอบการธุรกิจกว่า 1,000 รายพบกับ 5 กิจกรรมหลัก Showcase and Exhibition การจัดแสดงผลงานและนิทรรศการที่สะท้อนศักยภาพของนักออกแบบและธุรกิจสร้างสรรค์จากกรุงเทพและเมืองต่างๆทั่วโลก Talk and Workshop กิจกรรมเพิ่มเติมความรู้และแรงบันดาลใจจากนักสร้างสรรค์ของไทยและต่างประเทศ Creative District ร่วมชมต้นแบบการส่งเสริมย่านเจริญกรุงสู่ความเป็นย่านสร้างสรรค์ทั้งด้านธุรกิจและคุณภาพชีวิต Event and Program กิจกรรมส่งเสริมนักสร้างสรรค์ในการแสดงศักยภาพในหลายรูปแบบทั้งดนตรีภาพยนตร์และศิลปะการแสดงอื่นๆรวมถึงกิจกรรม Open House และ Creative Market ตลาดนัดสร้างสรรค์มากกว่า 100 ร้านค้าจากผลงานของนักสร้างสรรค์สร้างโอกาสในการขายสินค้าและการขยายเครือข่ายธุรกิจของผู้ประกอบการห้ามพลาด26 มกราคมถึง 3 กุมภาพันธ์ 2562 ที่อาคารไปรษณีย์กลางและย่านเจริญกรุง ค้นพบแรงบันดาลใจใหม่ๆและมาร่วมกันสร้างให้กรุงเทพมหานครเป็นมหานครแห่งความสร้างสรรค์พร้อมขับเคลื่อนเศรษฐกิจของประเทศและพัฒนาคุณภาพชีวิตของทุกคน Bangkok Design Week 2019 จัดโดย CEA สำนักงานส่งเสริมเศรษฐกิจสร้างสรรค์องค์การมหาชน
สวัสดีครับคุณผู้ชมทุกท่านนะครับกลับเข้าสู่ช่วงที่ 2 ของกิจกรรม Talk นะครับในงาน Bangkok Design Week 2019 นะครับภายใต้ธีม Fusing Forward นะครับหรือว่าผสานสร้างสู่อนาคตนะครับเอาละครับเข้าสู่Talk ในหัวข้อที่ 2 กันเลยดีกว่านะครับมีหัวข้อมีชื่อว่านะครับ Deflexor 2033 นะครับ Shift of Paradigm in Design and Art Education นะครับ Deflexor 2033 นะครับก็คือแผนการสำหรับการออกแบบแห่งอนาคตนะครับซึ่งเป็นผลที่เกิดจากการวิจัยนะครับโดยสถาบัน IED นะครับสถาบันออกแบบแห่งยุโรปนะครับเพื่อให้เข้าใจเทรนด์แห่งอนาคตนะครับเหมาะสำหรับดีไซเนอร์ที่อยากจะออกแบบงานของตัวเองให้ล้ำไปข้างหน้านะครับโดยวันนี้นะครับเราได้รับเกียรติจากวิทยากรนะครับบินตรงมาจากประเทศสเปนเลยนะครับแล้วก็ท่านก็มีส่วนร่วมกับ Deflexor 2033 นี้ด้วยนะครับนอกจากนั้นเนี่ยท่านยังเป็น Head of Innovation Lab จาก IED นะครับแล้วก็เป็น Physical Communicator ด้วยนะครับ Please welcome Mr. Horge Pérez
Hello, everyone. Thanks to come. As he said, my name is Horge Pérez, and I'm head of innovation lab in Barcelona. And why all the other cities is because I work in IED, this Instituto Europeo de Design, and they was born in Milan in 60s, and then they expand between Italy, Spain, and Brazil. IED did last year 50 years, and IED Barcelona was doing 15 years last year. Why we decided to make the Deflexor was basically because we try in IED to take care about people and environment. I'm going to talk today about Macrotrends, but always I recommend people that try to adapt the macrotrends and the trends to your specific user, specific people, and specific environment. It's not anymore the moment to photocopy something from the other side of the world and try to put it. It doesn't work. So these are some pictures about the IED Barcelona spaces. As you see, we try to create an environment to help people to learn about design. And because we was trying to help people to learn about design, we realized some years that companies needs to learn about design too. Why? Because there is a lot of companies that came from the 20th century, and they understand the value of design, but usually they have young designers. So the CEOs of the companies, the managers of the companies, sometimes they don't know nothing about design. So they say, well, this is important. I have design pieces on my house. But it's not only this. So we try to create Deflexor as an instrument to help companies, to help whatever, to create their own trends. Based in macro trends, but try to adapt to your reality, okay? So today I will put example about Deflexor adapt to IED. And this is, I think, a good example because it's where it was beginning the Deflexor. In fact, the design of the Deflexor is not the same one. If you are a designer, you know that you are always improving your work. And we was doing this in Brazil for ABIT. It's Association of Brazilian Industry Textile. The same thing, no? Trends are really related with fashion, but sometimes companies don't know how to adapt trends to their reality. And it's not the same reality in Brazil than Barcelona. So here are all these managers working in Brazil. This is the Deflexor 2033. Don't scare, okay? I know that looks complex. It's kind of a mandala. So I will try to explain. There is a center where every piece you can move, okay? There is this level of colors that is one of the main ones. Then the white ones are the Macrotrends. And all these small words is moving every piece you can adapt and rethink every specific and small trend, okay? Let's try to explain it. I'll try that at the end you are not shocked as right now. Let's begin from a starting point. As I said, we care about population and environment a lot. So those are the two things that we think first of all. And what we said is like, well, okay, how these two elements interact each other. And we realized that there are suddenly 6 elements. What? Population. Population related with a certain environment create a society, then creates a culture, and then from the other side, a population in a certain environment create a market, okay? As you said there. And all those things have been happening in this history depending on different technologies. So it's not the same technology that was 15th centuries ago than in the 21st century. For that reason, technology is important there. Let's think about the center. In the center, there are 3 big elements that we think that we call the drivers, that the ones that influence you a lot. Basically are the 3 thoughts that we think are the most important one. The technological driver, the technical, but think always technological as technical. Let's say is the engineer driver, no? How the engineers think, the technical approach. Then the globalization driver, the economical, so the economy approach, the economy driver is another important one, and of course the human one, that is the demographic. So those are the 3 things that push you, okay? And then, because we are designers, we contribute with 3 big things. The multidisciplinary thinking, okay? The learning experiences, because it's not anymore about official, institutional, and academical way to learn. Today, you are here, I guess, because you want to learn something. We learn from mobiles, we learn from everything. So we call mixed experience of learning. It's not anymore about have a diploma only, okay? And innovative methodologies. There is not any more useful to use the same methodologies that 50 years ago. I put an example. We create an organigramma workshop. Why? Because CEOs organize visually the company with an Excel, because that's the tool they have, no? It's not any more useful to make a company diagramma or organigramma with an Excel, no? So you need to innovate in everything that you have been doing until now. Now, let's go to the outside, to the main thing, the macro trends. And those are the macro trends that we define as the important ones, the big ones. Let's talk about them. From there, we do it in the opposite way, so I'm going to do it from left. Rapid urbanization and alternative energy transition, demographic boom and population aging. Good example of depends of the environment. Here in South Asia or in Asia in general, the big macro trend is demographic boom. But in Europe, it's the opposite. It's the aging population aging. The population in Spain is decreasing. So it's important to understand trends that something that in one part of the world, you need to adapt to the environment to the other side. So it's the same macro trend that is opposite. Climate change crisis. There's a good exhibition of plastic related with that big issue. Standardization and personalization, the same thing. For certain things, we need to standardize to make it more efficient. But from the other side, we are not anymore in the 20th century. Somebody knows John Ford, the creator of a Ford company for cars? Somebody knows how many models of cars and how many accessories was in the first car that they create? Anyone wants to answer? There was the Model T, one model, one color, no accessories. And you used to go to the factory to pick up the car. There was not even shops to sell Fords. It's not anymore that period. Nobody wants the same object as the others. Right now, we are in the opposite. If we are 50 people, we want 50 different objects. So personalization is really important. And both needs to be managed. In fact, I put example, fashion industry is a huge industry. There is really good to understand standardization pieces, personalization, limited editions, until whatever adaptation to everything. So many companies of design, when I said this is like fashion, no, fashion is a huge industry. So I think it's a good example of how they manage that. I will put examples. Let's keep going. Hyperconnectivity and technological material adoptions. Hyperconnectivity. I mean, right now, this morning, I was talking with my boy that is in Barcelona, outside because it's weekend. And he was saying, hi, Papa, bye, because he was talking 2 times already with me today, so he don't want to talk with me more. There's a hyperconnectivity right now. From the other side, in terms of technology, the adoption to technologies and materials. Think about this. Until, let's say, 1910, okay, the beginning of the last century, maybe there was existing 1,000 materials in the nature, plus some materials that was created by people. In the last 20 years, we create more than 10,000 materials. How to adopt that? And from the other side, how to apply, no? I knew today, finally, a new material called Galeria melonella. It's a bacteria that eats the plastic. We need to fast adapt to make an adoption to have millions of those bacteria. If not, we are going to kill the climate. So it's important. Sometimes things are virtual or certain things exist and it's independent that exists that is adopted by the people. And then the last macro trends that came a lot from the business point of view, that is the business volatility and the governance crisis. There is not anymore a model. For example, before an empire, in a certain way, was a big company, no? Spain was 7th century Muslim, or the big empire of Spain. It was more for 500 years existing. That was a big company in a certain way. Now, the volatility of the business, whatever business is, that nothing exists more than 20 years, okay? Companies like Ford is not anymore now. Every company exists for 20 years is too much, okay? So that is going to influence, plus, of course, the governance. Now, anybody can be sure that the best system for population is democracy. Now, democracies are increasing. So all this, which is the best model? Before, 25 years ago, everyone was sure about which are the best models of governance. Now, there are certain informal models mixed with institutional, so that's the big macro trends, okay? So, remember, okay? I was explaining the circle of colors, then the white circles, and the center. Let's talk macrofields, megadrives, design contributors, macro trends. The consequence for design and ID. This is here where I'm adapting to. What's mean that every macro trend have designers that apply for. So let's begin from the same point. From that came design for sustainability. From demographic points came design for humans, okay? From climate change came design for social impact, okay? The same, design for cultural complexity, and for technologies and hyperconnectivity came design for smart media and text. And last but not least, how designers we can influence in business. And this is a good moment for designers. The people that have the money, the business guys, they understood right now how important is design. But they are doing from their point of view. So we need to do it from our point of view. But right now, business understand how important is design. So design for new models, for new business models, okay? In fact, Macrotrends, the Deflexor, in a certain ways, and is to help companies or to help people to make new models, new businesses, to think for the future, okay? And then, in the center, here is where you can put your own to transform Deflexor as a methodology, as a canvas for yourself. We put our 6 departments, but you can put whatever you want. For example, if you work in a company, you can put marketing, administration department, human resources, technologies, whatever department that you feel that are the important ones in their company. For ID, what we put is fashion school, product and space school, visual communication school, management for creative school. We have a creative management school for that thing that I will say. We don't want that business teach design. We want designers that learn a business part. And the other two that we have is the FITS. That is the school that we create specific for companies, okay, to help companies to continue learning, and the master school, okay? And with all those pieces came the mandala, as I said. And how it works? Well, you decide, for example, for population. So you can put population with demographic boom, which trends came out. But if you move in the middle, it's not the same thing, population with demographic boom. From a fashion point of view, that I will show you later an example of a skirt that we did, that if you move, if you turn and you put product, population, demographic boom, okay? So do you understand how this moves? So when you move, every movement that you do comes out and a specific trend that you can put. And when you have a specific trend, you put it in all this space. For that reason, because how you says, if you're working for a company or you are an entrepreneur and you said, I want to work for demographic boom, that's a big item. What I cook with this, what I transform for. For everything, you can do it like this. For that reason, is infinite. I mean, it's never ending, this Deflexor. Those are the words that I said that came out, different words, okay? So for example, technology, if you turn and you put the visual communication, suddenly comes out apps 2.0. Okay, so do you understand how it works, okay? Came out, but of course, those are the ones that we did. So outside here, if you use it, you should put the ones that came out from your point of view, okay? Remember, always put it in the middle, your departments for your company, okay? Easier to understand, at least, no? Don't look anymore like a scary full screen. In fact, I was in the airplane, and when I was trying to move all these files, my computer was collapsing. Imagine this in Illustrator, millions of layers, so I said, wow, I need to think about how to explain and simplify how works this. Okay? Well, and this, as I said, the last thing is that the ones that you put it outside, you need to think to 2023, and we put this part for the 2033. So the idea is for the next 5, we invented 10 years ago, so the idea was for the next 10 years and for the next 20 years. Now it's for the next 5 years and for the next 10 years. Okay. But these are words, no? I will try now to put you some specific examples of everything, okay? Let's try. And the nice thing is that some of those are from ID and some of those are not from ID, but I think are really good examples, so I think it's no matter from where it came from. Do you remember rapid urbanization and alternative energies? I think a good example is called the vertical forest. What is important about this project? Because buildings with plants, there are millions, no? The important thing is that here is not a building. It's a vertical forest where you can live in. So it's the opposite. In fact, the important thing, look how big is this tree. 10 meters high. But even more, look that tree that is coming from down. 1 floor, 2, 3, 4 floors, 15 meters. So it's a forest. In fact, all this part, look how thick is this. Because it needs earth and roots. So, because that tree is too heavy and needs to live and needs to be strong and needs to increase, for that reason, there is no terraces here, because that tree must grow. Plus, because it's too heavy, there are tensors from here to this. Not for the tree. It's to save the building, so the building don't falls with the heaviness. So you understand the concept. It's completely opposite. It's a vertical forest where maybe you can live. The trees are going to live, and maybe we found a space for you. So it's the opposite, and it's really important to understand that, okay? Look, they are big, no? In fact, they design depending of the trees. It's designed by Stefano Boeri, and it's in Milan. I think it's a good example. One of our examples about, One of our examples about rapid rapid urbanization. This is a solar bus stop we did for not big streets with high technology only, for real, like Bangkok, tiny sidewalks, for the normal bus that brings you from the train, for the 70 bus that I saw the other day passing through. So for small sidewalks, what I can offer to the population. So we did a solar bus stop that connect with the GPS and tell you when is arriving the next bus, okay? And that's important for the young guys that use at least in Europe, the public bus is used a lot from young people and old people. But as I told you, you need to adapt to your environment, to people. All of you, I'm sure you are interested to know that when is arriving the next bus. So instead to wait there for 10 minutes and eat a burger here, no, you said, okay, I have 7 minutes. I go to the bar. I take something, I come back. But your grandpa is going to think like that? Your grandpa don't think about have a nap and a mobile phone. What your grandpa is going to say? Well, I'm going to wait for 15 minutes the bus. I hurt here, so maybe what I need is a little bench. So we add this small thing that for us is as important as the technologies. Both things. In fact, in the happy test, the people, the people is older in Barcelona. They said, the bus stop with the bench. So it's important to understand the people, okay? Let's keep going. Electric motorbike that we designed for. In fact, for us, it was important to design a strong, like a tough motorbike. Why is green? Because it communicates. That's an important thing. If it was red, it should be a Ducati, a Ferrari. So it's green to communicate. But the important thing is don't look like an electric motorbike, because that's the problem with engineers' point of view. If you make it efficient, will really efficient, but the people don't like it. So you need to make a really nice motorbike plus have an electric cable. For that reason, the electric cable is high, because we realize that the people asking the people don't like electric motorbike. They are against electricity in terms of cars because they think they will be ugly. And that's the final product. So that was the design from our students, a thesis from 5 years ago, and finally now it's in the market. All the products that you're seeing today are in the market or are almost to go launch. Next, demographic boom and population aging. This is a good thing. That's another example for young designers. We win a contest, international contest, with more than 600 proposals. And there was only 3 panels. This was our first panel. And I remember the architect that gave us the prize says, wow, I remember Carmen. Because you need to do it for... Carmen is an ex-manager, retired, She loves portability and she buy e-commerce, but she have arthrosis. And you know the problem of arthrosis? Looks like a cool grandma. I would like to have a grandma like this. You know the problem? The market offers this for his arthrosis in the bathroom. An ugly thing that you adapt to put on top of the toilet with arm sets and a little bit higher. You think that's what happens right now is that Carmen feels ill every time that she goes to the bathroom. And that's not nice, because when she uses that, she don't feel old. She feels that it's connected with the 21st century. So how we can design better that? Well, let's design a cool toilet for a specific arthrosis. So as you said, the arm sets is still be there, and it's a little bit higher, but it's cool. Everyone will love to use it, plus Carmen. It's not the opposite. And that's what we did. We did the prototype, and we presented in the Barcelona Design Week 2 years ago. The example, as I told you, from the fashion point of view, for aging people, same thing. How you can help old women, that is 80% of the old people that breaks their hip are women. And they miss suddenly the independency. So let's design a skirt with airbags on the sides, with a sensor that we analyze with engineers that you can. We was working with Ern. It's the guys that are researching about the Big Bang in Switzerland. So if they are able to go backwards to know what is going to happen, they can go backwards to know which movements you do before you fall on the floor. So we put a sensor that where certain movements that you do it, this airbag inflates. So if you fall, you will not break the hip. Maybe you will hit your head a little bit and you will have for 2 days a hit. But finally, you will not break your hip. Because this is one of the biggest reasons where people like Carmen suddenly need help. And they are not more independent. The climate change crisis. I love this product. Maybe it's not really nice from design point of view, but you can buy it. It's a solar tent by Aurora Energy. You order by e-commerce, and you can begin to change the climate change. So it's not a big deal about the governance. No, you have a house, you have a tent, buy it. There is 2 versions, 1.5 kilowatts and 5 kilowatts version. Okay? So those are real Macrotrends things that you can do it. And be careful, designers. If they're, but I don't like too much. Well, put the level of don't put it always 100% value for design. There are certain things that, because some people say, but I don't like it. Maybe you can redesign the shape of, hey, is good enough design? Good. Looks good? Okay. But the other values are huge? Keep going, okay? From the social point of view, the design for social impact, a completely opposite thing, no technological. We was working in Africa to make workshop with local people to make new products. And you know these famous boats that are always in Africa, painted by the fishermen? When they are old, they throw it away. Well, we make a workshop with our students to reuse it. Those are pieces of old boats that suddenly are the coolest skate that you can see. Too thick, maybe you cannot grid on the sides. Well, don't worry. But it's amazing how you can make a new market from new things. No technologies, just thinking, creative thinking, and that's important. Standardization and personalization. I think that's a good example, not us. Swear. My shoes are from Swear. I used to love it. Suddenly, they said, okay, why not to make the maximum of personalization? And they did myswear.com, where you can choose everything about the shoe. Go inside is the best interface I've seen. You can move the shoe and everything, and you choose every detail. Of course, the price is a little bit high. I pay for those less than 100 euros, okay, on sales. But there's people that wants to spend that money. You have a bunch of money, you want to personalize. And now is the moment where designers are everyone. Designers must design the environment for people, so help them to design their own objects. I think it's a good example. Our example, in Barcelona, maybe everyone knows in Barcelona, we have more than 15 million tourists. But the important thing is Barcelona is smaller than you think, is what I learned. Some names are bigger than the reality. Barcelona is only 1.5 million city that receive 15 million people. It's huge. Imagine all people in Bangkok inside of Barcelona. Okay? So what we are trying to help the mayor is to relocate tourists to see parts of the city that are old, that maybe they are not that nice, like a mall, through designs like this. So we design lights, installations in old buildings, so the people go to see those. The same thing we did in south of Italy, in a small village, how to bring economy. We help Audi to make a festival of music with lights, so we make a mapping in the old buildings. Next one, hyperconnectivity and technologies and material adoption. I love this proposal. It's the only one that I'm showing today that is not done. This is our proposal for a bank. And why is it? Well, that's not a bank office. In Spanish, bank and a bench is the same word. Okay? So we was triggering with that because what happens? Banks, there are problems right now. Everyone can use a bank with a mobile and you're in the bank. In fact, in Brazil, 40% of the market is outside of the banks because everyone uses applications. So they are scared about this, the old style of the bank. So what they did from a business point of view is make a proposal of full screens. So you go to the new futuristic bank offices, and every bank in the world tried to say, no, you will have millions of touch screens. And what I said is, I'm going to a place to touch a touch screen if I have one in my house and I can be in the sofa? Of course not. Give me something better. So what we propose the bank is, well, because bank and a bench is the same word, why not a bank sponsorize an urban environment where I have digital security, Wi-Fi, so I can use my account with perfect privacy level, plus the typical guy, physical, that protect me in the bank office will be around here protecting the people. Physical and digital together. If they do that, the people will return to the or normal banks, and the image of a bank will be better. Other examples, what we did, that's one of us, we did it. Vinyls are returning, so why not download your music, do you like it, and print with the Fab Labs makers a vinyl, my personal vinyl, that I can listen my vinyl DJ. Because how many of you have DJ is returning to buy vinyls? It's a new trend that's coming out, so let's mix it. Other examples, we did some installations of music and light and voice in a sonar, from a space to an app. Do you remember the boombox trend? You know the typical image of Bronx, no? Boombox, boom, boom. Why not? How many of you have a speaker right now? Everyone have a phone, so we have speakers. Why not share all of us, make a paper a speaker to amplify the sound, and make a boombox sharing community? So imagine that right now we can make a huge level of sound making music together. We invent Julia, and we present it in Sonar. It's like one of the most famous festivals of electronic music that is done in Barcelona. Have already 20 years old, the festival. So it's not 2 years ago, it's old one. In fact, they invent the Sonar kits for the papas that are enough old to have kids already. You understand the business, no? That's a new business. It's not traditional. That's a creative business. And the nice thing is, because in Julia, all of us, you are having the speakers, you have the power, so the DJ is not anymore the guy that is on top of everyone saying, no, I'm not going to put your music. No, you decide. If you don't like the music that the DJ is putting, you turn down the music. Smart. The power for the people. So the DJ must think about the people that is on the place. More examples, technology and fashion, as I said. The World Mobile Congress is in Barcelona. They create the JAUF Mobile Congress, and they ask us to make a catwalk between fashion and technologies. And one of the things that we did, it was this ironic thing. I love it. No? Let's make a selfie. Okay, let's make 1,000 of selfies at the same time, and you have a cloth that you walk. I don't know, but maybe in 2033 you will see people around with like this with 20 sticks around themselves, looking from every side of your side. No? Do you remember the business volatility that I was trying to explain before? This is really nice because it's a visualization from the business point of view. Wall Street analyzed that in 60s, the media of how long was living a company was 60 years. No? So in 1850, somebody was creating a company, knows that will arrive to their 2 generations more. Look, from 60 years, they calculate that in 2020, 23 will be 16 years, the media of a company. So in your own life, you will need to make 2 or 3 companies if you want to be a CEO, because the life of the company will not survive anymore, okay? There's so many examples of companies that you remember from 20 years that doesn't exist anymore, okay? An example of that, we are trying to help the mayor of Barcelona to create a new economy. And yesterday, I was in a boardwalk in the river, and I saw a family fishing. I love that. The grandpa, the mom, the father, and the boy. So what we are trying to help is, you remember these 15 millions of tourists in Barcelona going to Gaudí, Sagrada Familia building? The fishermen are losing their job in Barcelona. So what we did, let's create a model where a tourist can go with a fisherman to learn how is the traditional techniques of the fisherman. Maybe in the middle of those 15 million tourists, there are some people that like the hobby of fish. Suddenly, there's a new economy for fishermen. Maybe it's not anymore to fish a fish. In fact, they teach you their techniques, and then they throw it again, the fish. But at least they survive. You remember the African guy in the boat? That reality, that local reality can survive in a place like Barcelona. So that's the way how designers think about macro trends. How can I take the globalization? Well, you try to adapt through those macro trends to adapt a specific. The hobbies of sport hobbies are increasing, so you mix fisher, sport hobbies increasing, macro trends, globalization, and tourist, okay? And now, to finish, the last 5 minutes, great, I'm doing great. 4 minutes more, and I have time. So I will put you some examples in general I think can help you to understand big macro trends that are not anymore specific, but are more transversal, multidisciplinary, okay? Solid and soft. That's a good example. Somebody knows this car? Hands up. Somebody knows which car is this? You? Gina, the BMW Gina. Congratulations. It's a car designed in 2001, and BMW was hiding the car for 6 years. Imagine, you design something amazing, and you hide because they was scared about if somebody copy us, if the people likes, we need to do it in real. Man, you're in the 21st century. It's called Gina. Look this lovely, no, like, it's lovely. It's a soft textile for the metal outside. Underneath, there is a solid structure. So why not? And you will say, well, that's dangerous. It's not dangerous. If you tense a text, you don't touch me. You don't hurt me. Really smart, okay? Soft and solid, all together, all the time. Tech and handcraft. Shoes is the most handcraft thing to do, no? In Japan, they invent a printer, 3D printer that prints the foot. So it's a pixelated sushi. Wow. So you design the sushi, and then you eat it. You see? The machine makes 1 point. Of course, right now, maybe you need 1 hour to take one piece of sushi, but it's a good way. Balilla, the Italian pasta brand, is designing a 3D printer for your home so you can design your own shape of pasta. That's good. Tech and handcraft together. It's not anymore, no, technologies, and the other ones, no, I hate technologies. I'm a handcraft guy. Why not together, okay? Institutional, informal. That's the other things. Europe is too rigid, it's too institutional. What is good about Asia, that is the informal model of businesses, is changing the life. Which is the best one? Well, you need to mix it. That's a good example from Mohamed Yunus. He's a business Nobel Prize from economy. He created the microcredits in India. But the good thing about him is that he called Danone and says, man, I want to offer you a business. I have 1 million women in the local villages. Let's make a business. They will sell your Danones to the people around, but you need to redesign the yogurt. I don't want your yogurts like that. And Danone, that was a big guy, says, excuse me? You're a little man? Says, yeah, I want to design, but the problem is that what I do with the packaging in the middle of a village, we are going to throw the packaging? No. Invent a packaging that you can eat. Because they are paying less than $1, yeah, but they are paying for the packaging. They are poor people. They cannot pay even for that. And Danone was saying, well, but don't worry, it's 1 cent. No, not even 1 cent. Everything must be eaten. So informal economy, so this is a businesswoman selling Danones with an institutional point of view, big, huge company. Okay? Informal and institutional working together. Corporate and domestic, that's another 2 big concepts. This is the center of one of the biggest companies of technology. It's called Telefonica, a worldwide huge company. And the good thing is, in the innovation in the center, in the headquarters, they have chocolate, cereals, beers. Well, because you need to feel like domestic, no? The famous Google offices. Another example, services and products. Products and services, people were saying, no, stop doing products. There is no future. You need to do services. A good example, we are working with this company. It's called NEN, and they create a new company called QB. They are from big data, and now they are creating live cameras. Why? Because to make big data, you need to, for example, for autonomous car, you need to record hours of video to understand how to do it. So at the end, you need an object, a physical object, to record things to have big data. So a service company that is passing to have a product. The funny thing is that we are in the process, so we are working with this South Korean company, and that's a picture we did last week of the model we are doing. Because we work 3Ds, renders, but we still give the value of personal user experience. How you will hang the camera? So we are trying in the fridge, we are trying with accessories to make it. Last example, virtual and physical. Our grandpa's was only physical. We was only virtual. I have students that don't know how to go to the other side of Bangkok because they don't have an app. You need to be physical. But it's not anymore versus, it's together. I think it's a good example from Nintendo, Labo. I don't know if you know that product. Lovely. You have a kid, buy it. Okay? It's an app that is an object, no? That you mix it with cardboard. Until here, I arrived. I hope, sorry, at the end I passed 1 or 2 minutes more. I hope was interested, and I'm open to whatever question. Gracias in Catalan, grazie mille in Italian, thank you in English, obrigado, muito obrigado in Portuguese, and gracias in Espanol. Whatever question, I'm here. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Mr. Horge. And now it's Q&A time, and please stand beside me. Yes. โอเคครับ เดี๋ยวขอเริ่มคำถามแรกเลยนะครับ Would you please come in? Okay, sure. Thank you. Hyperconnection seemed to be a new word to us at least for me, could you explain more about its importance and how it affects our life through design?
Okay. That is not that right now we are connected. We are hyper connected. So there's two opportunities right there. One is dangerous. For example, if you're hyper connected with your boss, means that you don't have any time out. He can connect you. Right now in Europe, begins to be laws to be changed that your boss, you can ask for extra money for companies because your boss was sending you WhatsApps every Saturday, Sunday, and every moment of your life. That's hyperconnectivity from one side. From the other, give you opportunities. Suddenly, I can sell things to every part of the world, especially for our services, because I'm hyperconnected, no? We are designing some things to give education. For example, in Africa, there is no satellites, but they invent even a LoRa, a connective thing. So we are everyone hyper-connected. It's not like Marco Polo's time. For that reason, it's hyper.
So there's a good side and a bad side about hyper.
In everything. I mean, there is good design and bad design. So in everything, there is the both sides. You need to balance always.
Okay. Next question, please. Is it possible that one design concept create conflicts to other design concepts? Design for tech and design for cultural complexity, for example.
It's possible that one design concept create conflicts to the other design. Always. I mean, designers, we are the best ones in conflicts and contradictions, no? We are problem solvers. As I said, products or services, well, that's together. Technologies and cultural complexity, well, you need to try to do it. That is what I said before, no? You can, the Fisher guy that I was saying, suddenly we are going to put an app so you can book from Bangkok a fisherman in Barcelona to show you. So it's hyperconnectivity, technologies, plus cultural, local. You need to, if you think it's versus, you will not find a solution. You need to add, not go against.
Yes. Okay, next question. Oh,
that's a difficult one.
Yeah, for me too. หากเราเป็นนักออกแบบด้านเทคโนโลยีและตั้งใจจะออกแบบตาม Macrotrends เราจะมั่นใจได้อย่างไรว่าจะมีเทคโนโลยีอื่นมาซัพพอร์ตงานออกแบบของเรา If you are designers and we follow the macro trends, and how can we be so sure about the supporting technology?
Well, for me, the supporting technology is one of the big deals that so many people is what I said, the difference between futurable and future macrotrends. For that reason, I use futurable because it's future but factible, possible. Okay? Why I said that? If you have a great project and it works perfect and you have the market and you have the users that is going to love it, as for example, the solar bus stop, maybe the technology is not ready. Don't worry. Find a lower technology, but do it. For example, the bus stop, the screen was only in black and white. No colors in the 21st century? Who cares? I will do it for put only information. The funny thing is we put it in the market, and a Japanese company, seriously, called the company, and it was a metal company, so no technology. They call, says, excuse me, right now I see the opportunity to make a screen for exterior in color, because we didn't think about what was a possible application. Could we develop a screen color for you? And I said, no money? No. You understand? So technology sometimes is a barrier. Jump over or just go through. And then the technology will arrive to you. Designers must go farther, and then technology goes behind us. We cannot say, there's no the technology to do it, so I will not do it. No. If a user needs, do it. With the technologies that are adapted right now, and then you keep going. You will make 2.0 version of that thing.
Okay, thank you. Okay, next question. Any tips to capture select early trends, document, and create trends archive in this overwhelming information world?
I recommend you two. Of course, global trends like Macrotrend, as we do it, or there's a place called Future Concept Lab, or in fashion there is a lot. But mix it with reality. Go outside, go around. I mean, I saw already 2 ideas in Bangkok yesterday walking around that for me are trends. So the problem is when the people stay in the computer trying to find trends and don't realize what is around outside. Okay? So mix it. My students, for the research, always I said, okay, first month, no Google. And they are like, no Google? What I do? Go outside, look the people. One thing is see, other thing is look. Okay? So look the world, because everything is done by people, and people makes the trends. So what they will need, how resolve the world, is what is a trend. So mix both things, okay? Don't forget the real world.
Okay, next question. Design for cultural complexity and for social impact seem to be challenging as it concerns lots of people. What should designers be aware of?
How to apply those projects. For the last years, there was so much designers trying to work for social impact that they was not pragmatic. So they was trying to make amazing products. And I put you an example. It's typical, for example, I was in Latin America a lot, that the universities or the design weeks give me as a present a traditional bag done from our handcraft guy. The problem is that that's lovely in their environment, but I will not use that bag in Barcelona because it's not adapted to my reality. So if you want the tourist, for example, if you want to change to make an impact in a person, in a handcraft man in Thailand, you need to help him in a pragmatic way. So for example, you need to design something for the tourists. I know, but I'm not respecting the traditions. Man, you need to help that person. For example, a good example of a Bangkok bag that they gave me from this year, Bangkok Design Week. No, I mean, that bag, I will use it. But I receive a lot of bags done by handcrafters in the world that I'm not going to use in Barcelona. And this pragmatic, I saw that so many designers for social impact, they miss the word pragmatic. Don't try to help the culture in abstract. Try to help that person that made the culture.
Be more specific.
Yeah, like take a little bit of business and be pragmatic. Maybe you will lose this part of design, but you will help him this. If you are not able to leave this part, the project will fall.
Okay. คำถามต่อไปครับ Do you make a proposal to the company first, or do companies come in and consult at the starting point of the design brief? Wondering business issue.
Yeah, that's a good question. Always I said that the first thing to do with a company is co-brief. Before you send an economical proposal, whatever, sit with the company. You remember the bathroom for Carmen?
Yes.
I remember sit with the company, and they would say, no, we want that you design the new bathroom for the airports. And I said, sorry, I'm not your correct partner. I'm not a technical guy. I'm a specialist in humans. If you want, we can define a brief interesting for new markets, like aging people is going to increase. For example, redesign the bath. That is something that your sales is going down. And I remember the guy saying, hey, man, I'm the company, and I'm giving you the brief. He said, sorry, I'm trying to help you, but if you give me the brief and I accept your money, only because it's a money question, I will fail, you will be angry, I will sad during those months. So let's design the brief. This is going to be a couple for some months. I saw briefings that are a disaster. The best one I've seen, you remember this NAN company I saw you? He sent me the brief with certain pictures, and he sent me an Instagram. A smart CEO. he was seeing what he likes in the world about the video cameras, and he was putting it in Instagram. I was shocked. I was like, I want to work with you. So it's important to design the brief. I always call, okay, I have a meeting with you, let's design the brief, and then I send you the proposal. Maybe I lose 2-3 hours, the best 3 hours that you can expend.
But you have to do with a company.
Absolutely.
Do it together.
Yeah.
Yes.
Or says, look, I received your brief, I think this, I think that. Don't scare about, I'm trying to help you to co-brief, to co-create. If they said, well, try to make him understand. If he don't understand the value you can give the brief, he will not understand the value of designer from the rest of the process. It's like a first meeting with your couple, no? Like, I like you, you like me, okay, let's keep going. Okay, like in a bar.
So it's like 50-50, not the employer and employee.
I mean, maybe not 50-50 because he's the client. So be careful, okay? But it's something like, well, I respect you, but what do you think about if because we are going to work together for 3 months, 3 years, so if there is no connection. If you are not able to understand a little bit my point of view, you will think that I'm your slave. So it's not 50-50, but it's not 100 and 0 between that. That's the problem with designers, as I said before, pragmatic for design for social impact. It's not 50-50 anymore. There's always a client and there's a designer. And if you're a client, you are the entrepreneur. So that's what I mean about pragmatic. That's a good example, no?
Okay, thank you. เอาละครับเหลือเวลาไม่นานยังมีอีกนะฮะ Can you elaborate a bit more on the creation process of that amazing mandala future diagram? How can we begin to create one for our Thai context?
Well, what I recommend you is, first of all, we do workshops around the world to do that. Then you can download from a common Creative Commons, the canvas. The only thing you need to do is, as I told you, in the circle where I put IED, the fashion school, put your departments. Then take only one of the slides of the colors, so don't take all of the same at the same time. So maybe you want work about the population, work about the population, or for example, let's take about the technology one, only take that one, and take 1 or 2 macro trends. And with only this, forget the rest of the mandala, take those 2 white spots, 1 circular color one, and then you work in that corner of the mandala. And you work for Thai adaption. Already that takes 3 hours, that corner, okay? So I recommend you to do that. And as you saw in the picture of habit, so you begin to post-it all the ideas that came out, and then you filter through those 2 words, and then you begin to adapt to Thai, okay?
So do you have the printout of the canvas?
Yeah. Is it Creative Commons?
And can you rotate the circle?
No, for that we need the workshop. You need to cut it if you want. Okay, let's be informal. Try to cut it, and okay. For that reason, we make the workshops around the world. But I mean, you can cancel and cut it, or you can move it. But the canvas it's a common Creative Commons, so you can download, respecting the creator, that is Alessandro Manetti, the director of the IED Barcelona, that it was a person that creates this canvas.
Yes, and so we still have time. Do you have anything else to say to all designers in this room or in Thailand?
Well, first of all, what I realize is the macro trends are global. So something that is for everyone is not used for anybody in a certain way, no, as I said. So what I recommend is adapt to yourself, the macro trends. Then don't worry about being subjective. I mean, this is our subjective point of view, because there is not a standard right solution, okay? And then adapt a lot, as I said, to the people and the environment you're working for. For example, as I said before, no? I mean, in all those projects, the final user was completely different. And we go there to talk. The solar bus stop, we was talking with young people, but then we went to talk with the grandpas. And the grandpas, though, was not interested in technologies at all. And I remember my students, no, but what, and you will love if we put a light, and the person was saying, young guy, I don't care. I remember my students were shocked, like, but what I'm going to do if I cannot apply the technologies? So you need to talk with the people that is going to use that, and put your ego, not 100%, but not even 50, like a little bit downer, to adapt. If you are able to do that, and you do it from your point of view, great. For example, my lab, for so much time, was in the web. If you go e+edlab.com, it's only in Spanish. Because our subjective Latin point of view is what we want to show. Everyone talk about innovation, design thinking from Stanford, no, from the American guys. And always I arrive to the conference and says, ¿por qué no puedo hablar en español y ser innovador? Why I cannot be innovative, good designer talking in Spanish, making a methodology for Latin markets? So why not to find a Thailand or South Asian way to make innovation through their informality, through those things. So be proud of it, of course, make it with a professional way. Not, because I'm doing it in a Latin way, let's dance. No, be precise, no? I know 5 languages. 4 of them are Latin. So Latin languages, okay, let's prepare that. I have an office in Colombia. I prepare by myself, but it's not necessary to make a photocopy. That's all.
That's all. So a big round of applause to Mr. Oge.
I make a selfish?
Yes.
Can I make a
Thank you very
selfie with
much.
the people?
Okay. Sure.
Yeah, okay. So people, come on, stand up and say hi.
ช่วยกันมารุมอยู่ในกล้องของ
You too, of course.
Me too?
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. I look like a ghost. You have a green face.
we look like a green face. Come here. No, don't worry. Okay. Right. Hello, everyone. Say hi. All to the center.
บกมือให้กล้องด้วยนะ
3, 4. Okay. Thank you.
Okay. Thank you very much, Mr. Oge. We've learned so much from you.